Time now for the voice of the land on the Big Play Network with your hosts, Kevin Arnold and Always Positive Jay.
As we all know, it's the first week of the NFL, so we're going to go around the league. And we're going to start with my second favorite game of the week.
Ooh.
And we've already talked about how they got demolished by the 49ers. How enjoyable was that, guys?
I'll tell you what, the number one thing I noticed from the highlights of that game were how many 49ers fans were in the stands. That honestly, especially for a home opener in Pittsburgh, when I do think momentum was definitely in there. Like, people were excited in Pittsburgh until, I mean, obviously they got their behinds kicked. But that surprised me, and just I honestly thought that would be a closer game. Like, I thought Pittsburgh at home would have at least a fighting game, right? But they got obliterated. I think it's pretty rare that you see Pittsburgh really just not even be competitive, and that's like I hate admitting that, but it's pretty shocking to me that that it was that lopsided.
I guess, yeah. I mean, it was shocking to me that it was so lopsided, especially week one. Tomlin always having his team ready to go. I mean, you've been preparing for 2 weeks for the same team, so as good as the 49ers are. The fans actually didn't surprise me because I feel like that's one of those quiet, big fan bases for the 49ers. Like, you just –
Sure.
And just like anybody, I mean, there might be a bandwagon group that jumps on, but Pittsburgh fans travel well, but I feel like 49ers fans are out there. I don't know. I drive around downtown.
There's a lot, dude. Like,
yeah.
Those 80s teams definitely produced a lot of 49ers.
They just have generations of good teams.
Yeah, you had Joe Montana, then you went right to Steve Young. You had the greatest receiver ever in Jerry Rice. So, yeah, there's a lot of 49ers fans. There's a huge fan base.
Like, they found their way to the Super Bowl a bunch of different times.
The other game in our division, unfortunately, Baltimore did win 25-9 because they were lucky enough to pull Houston for their season opener. They had... It's like I kind of feel like when Ohio State played Youngstown State, it was just like a warm-up game to get them in rhythm because, frankly, their offense didn't look all that good, to be honest with you guys.
Yeah. I was honestly, it surprised me because like Baltimore was at home and you added a whole bunch of new weapons. You got Todd Monken, who, despite only being here for a year, I mean, the Browns' offense was good when he was here, and honestly, that surprised me because I believe it was a close game at halftime, and like Houston, I don't think there's really any expectations there. I mean, I'm hoping C.J. Stroud does well and all of that, but
I mean, he outplayed Lamar Jackson.
Yeah, that's
technically he was 28 for 44 for 242. Lamar was 17 for 22, 169 in interception.
169 in interception.
I'll tell you this much. They finally drafted a good receiver. Huh?
Deshaun only had, 156 or something like that in the game. I mean, he did throw the touchdown, but I think a more
I don't think Lamar Jackson was playing in the rain and the conditions either. But, yeah.
Right.
And they're playing Houston compared to Cincinnati, who's also a better defense. But I get your point.
Yeah. I just think in general, you leave week one thinking – maybe the AFC North is a little weaker than we had initially.
No, I don't overreact to week one. I'll tell you right now. Week one, I don't want to overreact positive or negative to anything.
I mean, what? But you're saying Nick's overreacting. What if he's just reacting? Like, he doesn't.
I know. I'm just saying,
yeah.
You might be right.
I mean,
Nick Padone said the same thing, and then I gave him slack for it. So I had to give you slack for it.
I think obviously Baltimore and Pittsburgh are always those teams that just find a way, no matter what, no matter who their quarterback is, they just seem to have winning seasons and make it to the playoffs and that kind of thing. I get that. I respect that. But at some point, all of these trends, the Browns being bad, the Ravens and Steelers being good, they have to end, right? The NFL is designed.
All good things have to come to an end.
The NFL is designed to help
all bad
the worst teams more. Right, the Browns have been building this since they were 0-16. I just think at some point, and it may just stay the same. Right, it may just stay the same. But I think this could be the beginning of it changing.
Right, and I think we're going to know a lot after the first 4 weeks because the Browns get every AFC North team in the first 4 weeks, and I'm kind of done with the Browns being the only team in the league that's anemic to the NFL system being set up to help bad teams get good. That's for sure. So let's hope that this continues.
To your point, though, Nick, and like let's just say Kenny Pickens sucks like I believe he does, and Kenny Carnahan just continues to throw the interceptions and is not good.
Okay.
And what has Lamar Jackson? How has he finished the last 2 seasons? Where injured.
Yeah.
And when the injuries start, they don't really stop. So, and the only other guy we got to worry about in our division is Joe Burrow, who's amazing, but he can't beat us. And as long as Jamar Chase keeps ticking off our defense players and trying to call Cleveland, I mean, yeah.
I just think that when you look at the teams on paper, you say the Browns are if they're not the most talented bunch among the 4 teams in the division, they're certainly right up there. And in the past, we've seen Cleveland fall short despite that a lot of the time. And I just feel like seeing that type of defensive performance has really invigorated me. If Deshaun can raise his level of play, I see no reason why the Browns can't be there competing to win the division at the end of the year. That's I'm not trying to sip the Kool-Aid too much. I'm just saying that if the defense continues to play like that and Deshaun raises his play, why can't they compete for the division title? Why not?
I mean, anything's possible. Anything's possible in this game.
We haven't seen it, but that doesn't mean it's not
All right,
possible.
KG. All right, KG.
Anything is possible. I didn't even think about it until you said that. I was like, KG. Oh, yeah, I forgot he was screaming that. Other scores we got Baker beat the Vikings. I think the Vikings are pretty overrated. Another AFC team losing is the Titans losing to the Saints by 1 point, 15-16. Wow, that was real entertaining. Panthers lose to the Falcons 24-10. The Jaguars, they look tough. See, that's what I'm saying. Like, that's an AFC team that is coming up. Calvin Ridley is back, and he's for real. Yeah, he was on your team. Yeah, we're not going to bring that up anymore.
Trevor Lawrence, Calvin
did
Ridley.
he?
No. He missed a bet, but he didn't miss a beat. We got here's the garbage bowl of the week. The Cardinals versus the Washington Commanders. The Commanders come out on top of that one. Raiders versus the Broncos. Jeez, man, these are some really bad games.
Yeah.
Raiders versus Broncos, 17-16. Like, that is just boring.
Well, but I think some of these games, though, Jay, I think you could take a little solace in, because if we're not going to overreact to week 1, a lot of these teams feel like they could be playing better. Browns only scored 24, but they were kind of like middle of the pack, if not upper echelon of the pack of scoring points this past weekend, and they feel like they can score a lot more. So that's something to take with you. Like the Broncos and some of these other teams, I mean, there was low scoring games. We know the offense is going to pick up, and Browns feel like when their offense really gets going, they're going to be able to outscore the other teams as their offenses get going. So if their bar or low bar is 17, ours is 24, that gap is should get wider and wider as the Browns get going there.
Hey, only 8 teams scored over 24 points. So. Wow. But mentioning scoring, you got the Dolphins scoring 36, beating Chargers who scored 34.
They look legit.
Yeah.
Tua.
If Tua can last and he can finally clean up those concussions, they're a contender for sure. And so are the Chargers, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
Only problem is Justin Herbert, man. He's just a choke artist over a quarterback. Is it him or the coach? I don't know, but that dude, even in college, at the end of games, just never seemed to pull him out.
I would say more so the coach than Justin Herbert.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're going to look at a quarterback that might be starting to look maybe overrated, I'm not going to put this moniker on him yet, but Josh Allen just he's starting to make mistakes.
I've seen a lot, like a stat where it's like how many he's like the last 19 games he averages 2 turnovers a game.
He's up there.
Yeah.
Another guy overrated, Daniel Jones.
Oh man.
Holy crap, did they overpay for that, dude? That was a mistake.
Dallas looks legit. And the NFC
40 to nothing.
The NFC is crazy.
I'd trade a first round pick to get in the NFC. I'll tell you right now.
There's like 3 teams like San Francisco, Philadelphia, and Dallas, right?
That's it.
And then you look at the rest of it, and you're like, right? But it's like the AFC. There's a list a mile long, And I want to say about the Chargers are weird, man, because you look at them and you're like, okay, they've got all this talent at wide receiver. They've got Austin Eckler. They've got a good offensive line. They got Justin Herbert. They keep signing all these guys on defense. Like J.C. Jackson was their really big addition, and he actually got. It's funny. I saw the replay. He had a mind-boggling passing interference right before the half that was like 40 yards down the field, and he got called for it. And so the Chargers lost by 2 points. His passing interference right before the half moved the Dolphins into field goal range, let them kick that field goal, right, and ended up being the difference in that game.
Which, let's bring that right back to the Browns game.
Okay.
One thing the Browns did not do is make stupid, shoot yourself in the foot mistakes. Hats off, Kevin Stefanski. That's how you coach a team. Thank God. Like, I don't know how many times I'd see a first down. What do all Browns fans do? We look right down to the bottom right corner.
Yep.
We're like, please don't light that little icon up with the yellow flag thing. Yes, we're good. We're good. We're first down.
Jacob said every time he sees a Nick Chubb run for more than 10 yards, his first thought is to look for the flag.
Yeah, do anything for like I'm trained to do that.
Yeah,
now.
Yeah.
We've been trained the wrong way. Hey, did you guys see, as we do look around the league, Nick C brings this up in our comments too, but apparently Jana does care about one of our fantasy teams, but that's just because we need money because we have a 4-month-old at home. I'm sorry, I'll try to do better week 2. I'm sorry, baby. But Nick C did mention that bar in New York that said that they'd pay for everybody's, I think in Wisconsin, whoever said that they would pay for everybody's tab if the Jets lost because of Aaron Rodgers being there.
Wow.
And like people started racking up
I saw that.
bills, and the Jets still ended up winning that game. So everybody had to pay these big bar tabs.
Go look up the video on
clink,
that.
clink, 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 clink.
There's
Just
video
add
where
them
these
to
guys, they look like they're just smashed, and they're like, "What? Like I gotta pay
I
this
have
now?"
to pay.
Wow. You know what?
Seen a few of those in Muni.
The way when we talk about around the NFL, I just think there were a lot of teams in the AFC that lost. That when you're saying like, so I think it's really important this year too, because so let's rewind the clock a little bit. The Browns go to the AFC divisional round, and I think after that year, all of a sudden we started looking around the NFL and we're like, okay, we need to start caring about all these playoff teams and seeding and wins and losses because we're competing and our expectation is to make the playoffs. So then you go back to last year and Deshaun suspended 11 games. Jacoby Brissett's there. So you kind of lower the bar. I think collectively we all did. But now it's important again because our expectations are there to start looking around the NFL because from the very jump, right, every one of these weeks matters. You only have 17 of them. A lot of AFC teams that you're going to be fighting with for seeding lost week 1. I know it's just 1 week, but
The nice thing is they lost to NFC teams.
Yeah,
so
that's
they
a
still
great
have to
result.
beat each other up.
Yeah.
Still, that's
Chiefs lost, Bills lost, Jets lost Aaron Rodgers, which I mean sucks, but when you're looking at it from a football perspective, that's a huge loss for them. Chargers lost. That's all I got right now. Steelers lost. So all good things. All good things for the Browns and potentially looking down the pipe.